Here is the finished product, a kaleidocycle, and I have taught over 1,000 middle schoolers how to make this over my teaching career. It's pretty simple, but it ends up looking awesome, and all kids love it when it's finished. All right, so here's the template that you start with. And I have this available to download on my blog. So you start off with a net of the kaleidocycle. And so this is what it looks like flattened out. And then you're going to color it. Now the way that you color it is a little bit important if you want it to match up when it spins. So the top 3 parallelograms need to be the same design. And then the next row would be the same design. There's a 3rd row, and then there's a 4th row down here. Okay, I can show you one that ends up finished. So you can see here, I did a stripe pattern on the 1st row, a little basket weave pattern on the 2nd row, some circles or dots on the 3rd row, and the 4th row had some swirly lines. Okay, so you can pick 4 patterns to design it with. You can leave the bottom 3 triangles plain white, and you can also leave these little tabs over here on the side plain white. And that's just going to help it to look cool when it spins if you kind of follow a pattern. You can think of this triangle as half of the parallelogram that matches up with this triangle over here. So if you're doing a design where it takes up the whole parallelogram, you can think of starting it over here with it finishing over on this side. Like I've seen kids want to write something before, so if I was going to write my name Annie, I might write the A-N-N over here and finish it over on this side because they'll match up when it's all glued together. After you're done coloring it, you're going to cut around the entire net, leaving these little tabs on, cutting straight across the bottom, and it's going to end up looking like this when you've cut it all out. The next step is going to be to crease it along all of the black lines. So there's black lines running in this direction, and then there's also black lines running in this direction. You're going to want to be very precise here and get it as close to exactly on the black line as possible and really give it a good crease. So you can see I've done this one already, and you can see what the creases look like on the other side. It makes that same parallelogram pattern once you do all of your creasing. Okay, and the last step is the gluing. So you end up with this shape, and you're going to put glue on these 3 triangles, and then you're going to match up across the way from it are the parallelograms that should fit exactly on those triangles, and you match up those 3, and you kind of need to be patient and hold it for a couple of minutes. So sometimes that's the hardest part, is just holding it like this. So it ends up looking like this kind of long snake, and once that is stuck together, then you can put a little bit of glue on these end tabs, making sure both of those little tabs, and then that part gets stuck inside of the other end right like that. And then you hold it like that until it's all stuck together. I always tell students to let it dry for at least a half hour before you start turning it, but once it's dry, you can spin it and it looks really cool.